Look at this fool, mourning the weakest of them all. Starscream cackles as he slams Optimus to the ground. Optimus reaches out a hand, struggling to reach for the fallen rifle. Spike watches, making a snap decision. He rushes out of cover, shouting to Carly to help him push the weapon to the giant robot. But you're probably wondering how Optimus got in this position. The Transformers comic franchise has been officially restarted, and I wanted to bring it to you guys. So today we're going to be covering Transformers 1 from Skybound's relaunch. We're Comicstorian. We make audio dramas of comic books so that you know what's going on in the world of amazing comic books. If you enjoy them, check out your local comic book store, and if you want us to continue things such as Transformers, consider supporting this channel through Patreon. It's through our Patreons that we can keep going. Let's start. Memories of war flash through Mr. Witwicky's mind until he's interrupted by his son, shaking him awake at the bar counter. "Gee, Spike, don't scare me like that," he shouts as he turns to his son. His son sighs, explaining that he's been looking for him all day. "How long have you been here?" Spike asks, and his father shakes his head, explaining that he hasn't been there long. "Since noon, Spike," the bartender calls from across the bar. Sparkplug glares at the bartender before looking down and seeing Spike carrying his brother's old telescope. "Looking at the stars again?" Sparkplug asks, and Spike nods, explaining that it reminds him of his brother. "Why would you want to remember that? It's best to forget it all," Sparky says with a sigh. "Is that how we're going to live now? Just pretending he didn't exist?" Spike asks, but their argument is interrupted by Davey as he comes through the door telling Sparkplug that he's ready to give him a ride to work. They head outside and jump into Davey's truck, with Sparkplug telling his son that he needs to grow up now. "And be like you?" Spike asks sadly. Sparkplug sighs, telling his friend to drive. They leave Spike in the dust as he watches his father leave. "That sounded rough," Carly calls. Spike turns to see his friend leaning against her bitchin' van. "Come on, let's pretend we're on another planet," she tells him, motioning that they should leave. The sun goes down as the pair reach Hangar's Rock and they begin to climb. Carly asks Spike if he's told his father that he wants to follow in his brother's footsteps and become an astronaut yet. "I'll tell him soon. What about you? Are you looking at art schools?" Spike asks. The pair continue to talk about the future as they set up the telescope, and with this complete, Carly reaches for Spike's hand. "I wish it was easy for you, Spike. I'm sorry about your dad. About Jimmy," she whispers as they lean into each other. But the ground begins to shake beneath them as an earthquake rips through the mountain. The earth gives out beneath them, and they both fall through a massive hold, finally landing hard far below. Both teens struggle to their feet as Spike looks around in shock. "What the heck? Where are we?" he gasps as he realizes that they are standing in a massive engine coil. But as they begin to look for a way out, Spike looks through a hatch. Carly joins them, and the pair are shocked to find a strange bridge where the bodies of massive robots are lying around. "What are those?" Carly calls out. The two move into the chamber as they reach a way out, but the sound of a massive approaching footstep forces them to take cover behind the fallen rocks. They both look up in shock as another robot appears, but this one is alive. "My friends, it's finally time," Jetfire says as he looks around at the fallen robots. "Had I the power to lift this ship from its mountain trap, I would bring you all home. But I only had enough energon to trigger the earthquake that revealed yourselves to me," Jetfire says as he sits down at the ship's control console. He powers up the Teletran 1, and he begins to repair and reconstruct the Autobots. Spike and Carly shout in surprise as parts begin to lift off of the ground as the computer begins its work. Jetstream watches as the parts reconstruct, and Starscream stands before him. "Starscream, my old friend. I have not seen you for centuries," Jetfire says with joy. Starscream looks at the Autobot. "Jetfire, comrade. Thank you for waking me. I'm glad you picked the right side," Starfire says. He turns, activating his new arm cannon, firing a round into the fallen body of Bumblebee. Jetfire grabs a hold of Starscream's arm, demanding to know what he is doing, but the Decepticon motions to the markings on his wings. "Don't you see the markings that I wear proudly? We have been at war for the past 100 years. Now stand aside and let me do what needs to be done!" Starscream shouts. But the Teletran is still working, and another robot begins to rise. Jetfire won't let Starscream's arm go, the Decepticon shaking off his old friend and firing a round into his chest. I'm surprised at you, Jetfire, showing weakness. What a waste, he says, but Optimus grabs a hold of Starscream's arm, slamming him into the ground. Shooting beings while they lie helpless? I thought you were a warrior. Optimus growls at the Jet. The leader of the Autobots looks around and is surprised to see two small individuals, Spike and Carly, watching them. What are you? Optimus says as he leans down at the humans. I'm Spike, Spike says quietly, when suddenly a laser rips around them as Starscream recovers and opens fire. Get behind me, small creatures, Optimus shouts, using his body to shield the humans, but another Autobot has arisen. Don't even think about it, buddy! Ratchet shouts out as he kicks Starscream. He turns, helping Optimus to his feet, but the pair are pinned down as Skywarp has arisen and opened fire on them. Starscream looks at his Decepticon ally. The Teletran is reconstructing us randomly! Bring our fellow warriors over here! Starscream shouts as the Decepticons drag their allies to safety. They then continue to shoot at the Autobots, who have no weapons of their own. Too many of them have been awakened. We must retreat, Optimus shouts to Ratchet. He looks at his new form, pointing to the tractor trailer that the Teletran seemingly has formed him with. Can you load our warriors here? He asks his friend. Ratchet nods and begins to work, while Optimus rushes to the fallen rifle. Go! I'll buy you some time! He shouts, but Soundwave has finished reconstructing. His cannon immediately turns, targeting Optimus, opening fire. The blast knocked the leader of the Autobots to the ground. Smoke and flames are bellowing around him as Optimus is struggling to his feet, his eyes falling on the body of Bumblebee. Spike watches as Optimus crawls to his friend as he cradles the body of his fallen comrade. Oh no, Optimus whispers, but Starscream grabs him from behind. Look at this fool, mourning the weakest of them all! Starscream cackles as he slams Optimus to the ground. Optimus reaches out a hand, struggling to reach the fallen rifle. It's just out of his reach! Spike watches and makes a snap decision. He rushes out of cover, shouting for Carly to help him push the weapon. The two of them struggle with this oversized rifle in front of them. Optimus manages to grab a hold of it and he rolls free, elbowing Starscream away. I'm sorry, Teletran. We're outnumbered and outgunned. I have no choice, Optimus says as he raises the rifle, firing it into the console, destroying the machine that is resurrecting the rest of the Autobots and Decepticons. Optimus turns, grabbing a hold of Spike and Carly, cradling them to his chest as the ship begins to explode around them. Ratchet, transform! Optimus shouts as he transforms, linking to the trailer. He pushes the humans into his cab and he and Ratchet drive away. Roll out, he shouts as he drives out into freedom, leaping off of the ship and landing on the mountain below. Ratchet pulls up beside Optimus, looking at the scared humans inside his cab. Optimus, what in Spark's name is in your cab? I'm not sure. These small creatures must be natives to this place, Optimus shouts back. Carly smiles, waving at the ambulance. But their escape isn't over as Starscream, now transformed into a jet, is flying behind them, opening fire. Inside of the remains of the ship, Jetfire is struggling to his feet, watching as Starscream pursues his friends. Optimus, I am coming! Jetfire shouts as he transforms, leaping into the air. He flies behind Starscream and opens fire with his missiles, forcing the Decepticon to take evasive movers. Damn you for making me do this, Starscream! Jetfire shouts as he fires his lasers at his former friend. But that's when Skywarp has appeared, blasting Jetfire and forcing him to flee. But before the Decepticons can pursue their enemies, Skywarp tumbles to the ground, transforming. Why do you stop the hunt? Starscream shouts as he lands by his friend, but Skywarp seems to be in pain, struggling to speak. My energon. I'm about to run into the ground. We have to turn back, Skywarp says. Starscream sighs, turning to watch the Autobots escape into the distance. Gah! Sleep with one eye open, Optimus. I'm coming for you. Starscream shouts into the night. Later, Spike directs the Transformers to the town's old quarry for safety. The humans get out as Optimus transforms back, rushing to Jetfire's side as the Autobot collapses to the ground. I am gravely injured, Optimus, Jetfire gasps, looking at his friend, asking for forgiveness. He had been searching the universe for a new energy source for so long, he did not know that the Cybertronians were at war. Much has changed since you left our planet, Optimus says with a nod, putting a comforting hand on his friend's chest. All for the worst, he rumbles. He opens his chest, believing the matrix of leadership within his chest can heal Jetfire. But Ratchet comes forward, explaining that Jetfire's wounds are too severe for the matrix to heal. I have failed my mission. Cybertron will die. Everything will die. Jetfire gasps as he passes. Meanwhile, back at the ship, Starscream has turned on Soundwave, shouting at the Decepticon because he can't fix the destroyed Teletran. Well, how can we fix it? Starscream demands, and Soundwave explains that he sent Laserbeak to scout for resources and energy that they can convert into Energon, and that he has also received coordinates for a source of possible energy. But Starscream is the only Decepticon with the energy to go and harvest the source. He's unhappy about this news, but he nods. I will do this for you, my loyal soldiers, Starscream says angrily. Meanwhile, Sparkplug and Davy are preparing to head home for the day from their jobs at the local power plant. Davy tries to talk to Sparkplug about what's going on with Spike, but the pair are interrupted as the whole planet begins to shake. They rush outside and their eyes widen as they see a massive robot destroying the plant. Let's get out of here, Davy shouts, rushing back to his truck, but Starscream turns at the movement, seeing humans for the first time. What's this now? Are you the creatures that live in this place? He asks, reaching out, grabbing Dave and lifting him into the air. He begins to squeeze the human tighter and tighter. So fragile, so squishy, so pathetic, Starscream says with a laugh as Dave's bones begin to break. Sparkplug watches in fear as his friend explodes in a shower of blood and guts as the robot squashes him. And that concludes the first issue of the Skybound Transformers book. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want more of this, it is entirely up to you. Make sure you like and subscribe and let me know in the comments down below. Benny, I need to know what happens with this more adult-themed Transformers storyline, because this story is, in fact, to be continued.